Hey, my name's Gustav. Here's a basic rod that you would want to use just for fishing, for fish, well, pretty much any fish, but isn't the strongest pole that you could have. As you can see, the basics that you would put on a bobber, that you would put on the line is this bobber. You have a bobber here on the end of the line to you put this through, yep, and you want the bobber to stay where it is. So then you have whatever you are using for your bait. I'm using this. It looks like fish eggs actually, and you see I have a darkish head. It's actually yellow, but it has gray on it because it's ripped off. And so normally a good color would be a dark color for the headish thing and a light color for the body. For example, some salmon have red heads, red heads with white color body, gray, light gray, white, pink, something like that. So you would want to have this. You want to connect it with the line. And as you can see, I have this rod. I have this rod here. You can see my bobber. See there my body? So you can see my bobber right now. Turn it around. See it? You can still see it. And then you press on this to release some line. Sorry. And yes, it does get tangled onto. There, you got some line, so your hook is out. And I'm going to roll off just a tiny bit. There. And so we do that. We hold this, and then we press. As you can see, this button, we have this, and we have this ending part. Yeah, so that's the button you're going to press to get the line. Where you get the line from, you're going to have to pull on the string. Pull on the string when you do it. And then when you cast off, you're going to go like, your hand is going to be on that button. And you don't need the thing that you're going to reel in with. So you have this button here. Push it, and then pull it out. So that's how you do that. Then when I'm casting it, you push this, and then you swing back, and then you throw it out in the water. So that's how you do that. As you can see, it isn't the... Here's my bait again, one more time. It's very light colored on that point, so there we go. So I'm inside right now, so I can't do much here. Right now my line is off. Just gonna do that one more thing. I'm gonna push this button. Go casting it, and then it'll go whoosh way out, okay? And then when you feel a tug and your thing starts to pull, it might be seaweed. So it will pull a little bit on the end. You're gonna have something on your hook. And when you have something on your hook, it's gonna struggle if it's alive. If it stays there, it might be weeds. I reel it up, I just push it. It comes up. As you can see, it's going to be really, really, really hard to do this. And then there you go. There you go. That's how you're going to cast off. I'm going to show you some basic things that you might use for your bait. I've already showed you one thing that's on my hook. So it'll be like this. I'm gonna get it. What do I use? find it, Here we have this box. So I've got an extra buoy in case. Here's what a buoy looks like. Some are different. Some are different than others. Some are different than others. Some are different in color, some are different in size, and some are different in this. This is what a bobber will look like. Okay, a bobber will look like this. It's got a hook on the very bottom right here. Here, as you can see, there's a little thing. That's what you're going to use to put the line through. Okay? That's how you put the line through. Now I've got this hook. As you're going to see, that it's different color than the other one. It's it's yellow, not green. So this is something you want a sharp end on your hook, really sharp end. As you can see, mine is sharp. So we're gonna need a sharp end because even though the mouth inside the fish's mouth, it's fragile and very rippable. So just be aware of that. You don't want to rip it out when you take it out of the fish's mouth. So you're going to want something like this, and you can have it baited on with anything, actually. My brother made this. It's gonna be a big fish kind of thing, big fish bite. Maybe even a shark would go after it, but I don't think so. So we got this. It's here we have it. It's good smell. Here you go. You can make them out of foam, whatever you would like. You can see I made mine out of foam. Yep. I put my hook through the mouth, which is interesting because that's how it'll go in the fish. And normally, fish aren't smart enough to know which is the front and which is the back of a fish. So you might get the fish might bite on the back and rip it off, but it turns out to be okay because it's styrofoam. It's not the end of the world if styrofoam rips. You can make another one. Here I've got something else that you can use as bait. Just a basic hook like this. You got some of those fish eggs. Fish eggs I use on most of my bait, actually. As you can see, it's not the best hook thing because this is going like that. It'll be interesting to fish, and they might bite on it. So, and then you got this other fishish thing, and it might not be the best thing, but it's okay. See, the tail flops, vibrates from side to side, which is good because it looks like a fish. And then you got a fish egg. It's a pretty good thing. That's probably one of the best things you could get from what I have. There's from some of the things that I have. So there are some of the things that I would use in mine. Now I've got some other things, examples. Here's what some fish eggs look like. I don't have any green ones at the moment that I'm not using. Oh, it stinks. Those things really stink. They don't smell good. The yellow ones don't smell good. One more thing I want to talk to you about. Actually, two more things, okay? So we have waders here. Weights. You're going to need them because when you put the foam in the water, it will float, and some other things don't float as well. So we're going to put one of these small little, as you can see, lead. It's lead. It's not, I don't know. It's metal. It's metal, you could say, okay? Here you have it, right there. Right here. You're going to see it. We'll take a good look. It's metal. It has little, I don't know how to hook it on, but somehow you do. you manage to do it, sometimes you don't. And that's our small ones. Those are our small ones. And then you got some different ones that are this big, and there are some that are bigger. This is about how high they go. And one more thing, these red small hooks are used for worms. You're going to put the worm around here. Push it on that, like, hard. Push it really hard and push it through, and then it gets to here. That's where you're gonna wanna stop, because you know how fragile worms are. You're gonna wanna be careful at how you do this. It's not the best thing to use worms. They struggle. That's a good thing. They're going to struggle in the water, and fish are always looking for something that looks appetizing, that looks like it's having a hard time. So they're going to look out for those, but they might not be the best bait. A lot of people typically use those. And that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to show you how you remove. That's what you're going to use, maybe for bait. And I'm going to show you this one more time. This rod, I have this rod. I'm holding it upside down, and we'll go like that, cast it out, push on this button here, and then there she goes. And there are some other rods, like cane rods, where you just throw them out and they're going to go out because they only have a certain amount of rope, which is not that long, and it's just a cane, piece of bamboo maybe, with string. And you got a hook and something on it maybe. Once in a while you can just put a hook on it and fish are going to be interested in it. Some fish eat rocks, which is interesting, so that's so even just that you might be able to catch something. So I'm going to show you something. When you find one of these containers, this is what it's going to look like. That has the bait that I used on my rod. This is what I used on it. As you can see, it's very interesting, but it's hard to here. That's what it's going to be like, okay? It might come in sixes, might come in fours. I don't know. You can break them apart if you want to. You can add them up and stick them on. So there, just go to Lake Washington. There are a bunch of lakes that you could go to. I live in Washington, so I'm just pointing that out. They're going to need some of those. That's great. Catch your fish. Fillet it maybe. One thing I recommend is if you're going to do catch and release, you're going to want to not have bait, because the fishes will rip off the bait if they're strong enough. And that's kind of wasting your bait, and if you poke one in the eye, it might die and just have to throw it back out there. So I recommend, if you're going to do it, just stick with the thing that you're going to fillet it or something. Once more, I'm Gustav Fauci. Me and my brother are going on a fishing trip. I just want to let you know we're out here in Washington. Not saying you want to come over here, okay? No, not that.